Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. 4 games in the NBA on Saturday to kick off these playoffs, and I'm going to have a video for each of them. So make sure you are subscribed to that page. Don't miss any of the insights that I'm bringing you guys, looking at the matchup data and everything that you need to know as you're placing your bets on these NBA postseason games. I'm going to be looking at the Bucks and Pacers. That is the first game on Saturday. So I've got plenty of looks for you guys in this one to help you make your bets. If that all sounds good, give this video a like. Let's get right into it. Going to kick things off with the series notes, but do want to remind you guys we have a nice discount going in the VIP section of the Discord. Use code YOFS25. That'll get you 50% off your first 3 months. Make sure you don't miss a single bet that I'm putting down, as I don't get bets down too early. So you do want to make sure that you're in the VIP if you don't want to miss a play. And this will get you 50% off through the rest of these NBA playoffs. Plus, do want to shout out a couple of the VIP cappers who are doing some really good work there in the MLB. Buddy Irons, especially, up about 20 units now on the early season there. So that's all in the description of the video. Link is in there for you guys. But looking at the series notes, it's important to start here. Normally, I like to just get into the matchups, but Dame Lillard is missing. And so we at least have to start with, is he going to return? Well, he's going to miss game 1, that's for sure. He got cleared today in terms of the blood clot that he has going. Seems like he's off the blood thinners and is going to be able to start working out. But when is he going to start getting into full contact drills? I don't quite know. He could return for the series, but it's like super vague right now, right? Like no one's really giving us a timetable. No one's saying with any level of certainty from the Bucks side of things that Dame is going to be there. I took a look real quick at what the numbers were with him. A 55% win percentage, 32-26. Without him, 16-8 with a 67% win percentage. Few easy games in there, but I mean, over the course of 24 games, you're going to play plenty of good teams as well. 16-8 is nothing to sneeze at without Dame Lillard. And Milwaukee did win the season series 3-1. But Dame played all 4. Giannis played all 4. Halliburton, Turner, Pascal Siakam, all 3 of those guys played all 4. So it was a pretty even matchup throughout the year, and Milwaukee kind of handled things. I will say to end this, the Pacers did get way better in the second half of the season. They were one of the top 3 teams in the NBA, in fact, top 3 or 5 basically in the last basically since the All-Star break, right? So they were wicked hot down the stretch. And this Bucks team, they didn't falter necessarily. They did their due diligence to get the 5th seed, but they did lose without Dame at the end of the season against the Pacers, so that the Pacers could kind of secure that 4 seed. Does seem like the Pacers have a bit more momentum without Dame. They're definitely favored in this one right now. Starting out with the Bucks on offense here, and these are the matchups that I'm expecting, starting with Ryan Rollins at point guard, pseudo point guard, really. He gets the start, but I don't know how many minutes he's really going to get as we are finally in the playoffs. And Kevin Porter Jr. has a few years on him for sure, definitely much more experience, and then is proven to be a much better overall point guard and playmaker than Ryan Rollins when he's on ball. So Rollins probably gets the start again if we're just going with what Doc has been doing down the stretch. But we will once again probably see some more Kevin Porter Jr. than we do Ryan Rollins. Either way, Halliburton's most likely the guarding Rollins. But if we do see KPJ out there, I would imagine Nembhard gets on Rollins and Halliburton will be on Prince, because KPJ is much better on ball. So they'll want a better defender like Nembhard to be guarding KPJ. That'll put Halliburton on Prince if that happens and when that happens. And then Nesmith and Kuzma will be the matchup. Siakam and Giannis go head to head. If Siakam gets into any kind of foul trouble because he's guarding Giannis, and that's very difficult, then we'll see Siakam probably come off of Giannis and go to Kuzma, and then they'll put Nesmith on Giannis. So that'll be switchable between those two. But Turner and Lopez, those guys guard each other for sure. Both similar on offense as well in terms of wanting to step out and shoot threes. And both of them have had some pretty good success scoring against the other team. Putting the Pacers on offense here, you are going to see Taurean Prince guarding Halliburton. And then you're going to see probably Ryan Rollins on Nembhard, Kuzma on Nesmith. When Dame is in there, things are different, but obviously we don't have to worry about that for game 1. And then Giannis, Siakam, Lopez, Turner. Really simple stuff here. Really not much to talk about in terms of the matchup with the Pacers on offense. So let's jump into some of these player props that I am looking at for this game on Saturday. As always, going to be using Props Madness to show you guys what we're looking at here. This is the #1 sports betting research tool for all things NBA player props. Best time saver, most efficient way to do this. So if you do want to jump in, use code LYB when you sign up. That'll get you 7 free days as a trial if you want to test it out first. And then you can also get 25% off on your first month when you do use that code. But let's get into the first bet I like here and just talk right away about Kevin Porter Jr. I mentioned him that he's going to be in there for a good amount without Ryan, subbing in for Ryan Rollins. I think we're going to see him out there for about 25 minutes. That's what I'm looking at with him. And if you look at the previous games that he's played with Giannis, where he's really just been playing mostly without Dame, but in general with Giannis, if you look at his points, he's at 12 a game since he's come over to this team playing with Antetokounmpo. If you look at the dimes, a little bit over as well. Same here with the board. So like looking at the PRA, he's averaging 20 PRA per game when he's played with Giannis. And that doesn't even include when he's played without Dame. So I'm actually going to go to games without and take Dame out of there, see what that looks like. It's even better. Let's also say we're projecting him for the 25 minutes. Like I said, we can probably bump his minutes up a little bit, get a few of those games where he didn't play that much out of there. So let's say he plays about 23 to like at least 23. Let's say we cap him at about 27, which I think is conservative. Really nice numbers on the PRA here when you give him legit minutes. Some easy games in there, but a few not really easy games either, especially against the Timberwolves and to a degree the Hawks, who have been better on defense, and some easy games in there, I will admit. And the Pacers been better on defense overall, but they're still playing at a fast pace. They'll give it up in terms of offense in general, right? So I do think this is a spot that KPJ can attack. They've become a lot better at limiting things to the spot up shooter and whatnot, but they're still not very good limiting the pick and roll ball handler. And although Nembhard is a good defender and not the best matchup for him, I just think he's going to be too involved in the offense as essentially the second playmaker behind Giannis. So I'd like all of it, just the PRA combined for him. I would take this up to about 18, 19 and a half PRA. Moving to the Pacers for a minute, looking at Pascal, and there's a trend that I noticed here that I think we can take advantage of for some pretty big plus money. That's the threes for Siakam. So if you look at this on FanDuel, plus 128, you can still get this at plus 145 on Bet365 for those of you who have an account that hasn't been limited on Bet365. The thing that I'm looking at with the threes is when he plays against Giannis, I should say, he's a lot more likely to step out to the 3-point line. So on the season for Pascal, he's at 4 3-point attempts per game. If we look at him head to head with this team, those 3-pointers attempts go up to 6.5. So if he needs to make 2 on 6.5 attempts to get us plus money, we're going to take that right now. He's making in these situations against the Bucks this season 2.3 per game. He did go 1 for 5, but that's still 5 attempts for plus money for him to make 2 of 5. That's 40%. But if we look at the other shots that he's taking, 6.5, 2.3 of those, right, he's making. So his percentage here is actually a bit lower against the Bucks than it is on the regular season. For the regular season, he's at about 1.6 made threes on 4.2 attempts. That's a percentage of about 39%. If you look at him versus Milwaukee, 34% that he's shooting. Right? So he's worse in terms of efficiency, but his volume goes up so much. In fact, it goes up 50%. It goes from 4 to 6. That's 2 more than he's averaging on the season, right? And change, actually. So love him for at least 6 attempts here. In the other games, he's looking at 7, 7, and 7. 3 games of 7 attempts. If he takes 6, I love him to get 2 for plus money. If he takes 7, I mean, I might even sprinkle on 3 for like 3-1, but a little bit better than 3-1 odds for him to make a bunch of threes in a situation that he's done this a ton. One more thing I want to show you is last season when he played this team, right? Giannis missed all these games where he was missing. He had 1 good game of shooting threes against them. These are all playoff games. But if you look at the regular season when he played on the Raptors against this team, his matchup was also Giannis. 8 3-point attempts on the Raps, and then just 2 in this crappy game they lost by 16, and he only played 29 minutes, whatever. But in the games where it was full, he played 33, shot it 8 times. So a lot of threes going up for Siakam against Giannis and the Bucks. Love this bet for plus money tomorrow, on Saturday, I should say. This feels chalky somehow, but I got to go with my man Brook Lopez and talk about him on the points in this matchup. First of all, head-to-head, pretty good numbers, right? In these 2 games right here, had everybody available, including Dame. Actually, in all 4, Dame was available. Still at 15 points per game against this team. Didn't take that many shots in the first one in November, again, with Dame. And in the last one, also with Dame, only took 5. Has a really good percentage and history of scoring against this team in general, though. Taking a quick look at last year as well. A lot of games. All these games are without Giannis in the playoffs. But even in the regular season, in the 4 or 5 games they played because of the in-season tournament, had a few bad games in there. But overall, at about 12.5 points, I think he should be projected for about 33 and about 13 points in this game. A couple other things that we can use to get there this season. If we look at him in the games without Dame, pretty good numbers. 15.4. Actually, he's played, in the 22 games, over in 14, 15 points a game. Make sure we have Giannis out there, though. Let's add Giannis and say he is playing and Dame is not. What happens in those games? Still at 14 a game, over a 9 of 16. A lot of stuff goes up for him too, right? Like the minutes go up a bunch, the field goal attempts go up a bit. So there's a lot to like in this situation without Dame. Like I'm saying here, we should be expecting about 10, 11 field goal attempts for him in a situation where he's going up against a team that is terrible limiting centers in general. They are 4th worst against the roll man, which is something he definitely does. He also comes out on the spot up where they definitely don't like to go out and guard him. On the season, the Pacers were, I believe, in the bottom 10 limiting center points. This is a good matchup for Brolo in a situation that they're going to need him to come through, especially until they get Dame back. He's going to be relied on as a top tier scorer for that. Bringing it down to TJ McConnell, man, I'm a little bit confused by this line of 6.5 points. I think he should be good for like 8.5, really. And this is TJ McConnell playoff time, right? On the season, he's at 9.2. Let's make sure we have the games where he's played with everybody. Pascal's around, Tyrese Halliburton around, also Benedict Mathurin, important to know that he's around because he's probably coming off the bench in these games, and he's a good scorer that could take the ball a little bit out of TJ McConnell's hands. But if we get to all the games where he's playing with all these dudes, it's still great numbers. He's still closer to 10 points per game than he is to 7 or 8. In the 61 games that he's played with these 3 guys all available, he's still at 9.5 a game. The minutes for him are at about 18.2 on the season, which is what we should expect from him in the playoffs as well. If you look at last year in the playoffs, some of these games are not as easy to deal with. Let's make sure we have the playoffs, and we did not have Benny Matz. But even the games where he had Siakam and Halliburton available, he's still so important to the second unit, and he ain't scared, right? He's taken a ton of shots. What was he averaging in terms of field goal attempts last year in the playoffs? We're looking at 10 per game, up from 8.8 on the season in the regular season. Because again, he's a vet. He's not scared of the moment, and he's not scared of taking shots. He went over in 12 of 15 playoff games last year. This is another easy-ish matchup, I should say, against the Bucks, where he's probably going up against a guy like KPJ in a lot of those minutes, since Porter Jr. is going to play on the bench unit a lot and then come back to the starting unit. But both those guys will. So I'm not worried about TJ McConnell in any way. I think he's good for about 7 to 8 shots, which gets him easily to about 10 points if he doesn't even need to score about 50% of them. But 6.5 is too low. This is preposterous, and I don't know that we're going to get this line again. So I'm very happy to hit this now. Just pulling up Giannis to at least briefly mention him for a minute. He's at 31.5 points. I'm not going to fade him in a playoff game that he's going to continue to try to do everything for this team. But I will say he's only at 31.1 on the season when he's played without Dame Lillard. His shot attempts actually don't go up at all. With Dame, he shoots 20 field goal attempts per game. Without Dame, he shoots about 18. So without Dame right here, you can see he's at 18.8. With Dame, he's at 19.7. So he's not taking more shots without Dame necessarily, and he's only scoring one more point. He does get to the free throw line one more time, but at the end of the day, the points don't really do it for me for Giannis. Even if you look at him head to head, obviously those are with Dame. Doesn't really stand out that 32, 33 points is something that you should consistently rely on for him. So these numbers are just too high at this point for Giannis in a game where this team is going to be doing as much as they can to limit him. The only thing I would consider is the assists. It's just this. I have him at about 7.5 assists in 37 minutes, 38 minutes. He's still looking at about 7.5. So it doesn't really give us much of an edge to have to bet on him to get 8 in this one. All right, don't forget to subscribe and not miss out on any of the other 3 episodes we have up, one for each of the games on Saturday. Also going to continue to have this all playoffs long for you guys. And if you do want to jump into the VIP to not miss a bet that I'm making, the code is YOFS25. That'll get you 50% off your first 3 months in there. And you can check out the description of the video for the link and everything that you need to make sure that you're able to follow along. So much appreciated, y'all. And until I see you next, happy betting.